Alright, audio test. Don't hear. It's not too bad. You can actually hear from my headphones. Let me turn that off actually. What's up, Lopol? A Lopot Poi? How's it going? I'm doing fine. Kind of coming off from what am I trying to say? I'm starting to get a cold, which kind of sucks, but I got done with finals for this quarter, and it's time for me to just relax a little bit. Alright, let's see where we're at. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know how I did. I think I did okay. You know, I don't think I aced every single one of my finals, but I think I passed all my classes, so in the end, that's what's really important. Man, this my camera is just not wanting to focus. I'm just glad I'm done with this quarter. It's been a rough one. Let me know, by the way, if the audio's too loud, if the music's too loud, or how that's all going. This is kind of an experiment. I've been streaming on Twitch quite a bit, but I don't know. I've been having some troubles with it. I wanted to try YouTube just because I have a bigger audience too. Yeah, just kind of let everyone know that I'm not dead. I'm actually working on stuff. Alright, so how do I want to do this? I think I want the combat button to orbit around the player. Okay, so let me explain what I'm doing real quick. So I'm trying to implement a combat system in my in this game right here, and yeah, right now I just have a traditional you know, this is the player over here, and these are the bad guys that you're fighting, and don't worry about these circles and stuff. This is just testing for like tweens, like my tween library I wrote. But yeah, so right here, I'm gonna have it when it's your turn. I'm gonna have a circular orbit of buttons and stuff, and when like things like attack, you know, maybe defend, or in this game, I'm gonna have a system where your goal is to try to cure the bad guys of their virus or whatever. So I want to have another button for that, and then also be able to draw UI for those kind of mini games that you're gonna be doing with that. Let's see. Let's get the player. Or the player's position. Yeah, it is. I don't know if we're really gonna have a lot of clouds in the battle arena. That's just the background sky right now. I can actually, if I well, let me start it again. You can see that you don't really see the clouds until or the sky or anything like that until I think there's gonna be like a top of a mountain, and you can go up there and you can see the sky and the clouds and all that. So you're not gonna see that too often. I just haven't drawn a background yet for the combat scene. But yeah, I did a ton of work on making the sky pretty cool. I wrote a pretty cool shader that can dynamically change the color of the sun to whatever you want. I can change the top part of the sky. So let's say a giant boss comes in and the sky gets darker like this, and it will dynamically change the color of the sky and stuff. And then maybe the sun turns red to just kind of make things really ominous and scary. But yeah, with this I can do nighttime scenes. I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool things I can do with that. Oops. Thanks. I've been working on this project for a few months now, in my spare time. Wait, hold up. What's going on, man? Uh-oh. What's going on here? No member shape. Oh, okay. Oh, that's even easier. Alright, so, yeah, so we have one combat button right there. That's not exactly where I want it to be, but I'll keep working on that. Let me get rid of these, circle tweens. They're a little bit annoying. Let me just stop drawing them at least. Here we go. And let's add another button. Let's see, right here. And we want to set its position to let's see. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at the size of the combat action button. No, this is C++. Yeah, I am too. That's fine. C++ and C#, they look a lot alike. Hopefully, when I get this RPG combat system working in this game, I'll be making a tutorial series on that for Love2D. But I want to make sure I understand how to do it well. Yeah. Okay, so I want to set that to the combat action size. So it's the player X. Actually, I kind of want to see if I want to get the player's middle, like the middle of the player's position. Oops, there we go. Alright, so now it should be towards the middle of the player shape. And off to the side a little bit. Okay, yeah, now I just need to subtract the height of the square. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get the total size of all the action buttons, all drawn together with the margin, and then I want to center all of them. So let's get the total size. Actually, this needs to be a float, and let's just loop through every single one of these. Or better yet, let's also create a margin value. Let's name it combat button margin. And let's just set it to 8 for right now. Okay, so now we can calculate the size, which is just it's going to be the number of combat action buttons times the combat action button size, so times the size of each one, plus, actually let's just add the margin right here. Oh, that's weird, I have a little typo right here. Get rid of that. Alright, cool. So now that we have the total size, we want to subtract the total size divided by 2. And then let me think about this for a second. Okay, let's delete everything until. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the total size. And then I want to add combat button margin times the index. Let's move the index variable up a little bit. Times the index. And I need to add the margin. Alright, let's add a couple more buttons too so that we can really see this work. Alright, so that gives us 5 buttons. Let me see. Well, let's just run it actually. Oh, let me recompile and then run it. Okay, so it's not quite centered around the player, but yeah, we can see every single one of the action buttons right here. And so we're not applying the margin. That's a problem. Where is it? There we are. I could do this. I'm just going to add a cursor. So let's just say well, let me think about this. How do I want to do this? Let me increase the margin and see what happens. Okay, so the margin is working. Alright, so we have the buttons. Now I kind of want them to kind of be circular, and I'm trying to think of how I want to do that. I could just do it. Well, let me see if I can just add like a cosine of index and see what happens there. Times this by like 32 pixels. And I think we would want to do index over combat action buttons dot size. Or actually I have that backwards. Oops. Now let's make sure that we include math, CMath. No, we need to get rid of that cursor variable. I'm not using it. Nope, we crashed. Floating point is set. Okay, so we must be, oh, yeah, no, I had this right. Yeah, otherwise we're going to be dividing by 0, and, yeah. We don't want to do that. Okay, okay, so that didn't do it, but, I'm surprised. Let me think. Let me just do index for now. Oh, right, because we need to go between 0 and, or pi halves to negative pi halves, right? So we have to somehow get into that scale, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I don't want to do the math. Let's just see what happens though if we just apply cosine. Oh, okay, so yeah, okay, so let's do a sine instead of cosine. Because the phase is different. Because this is just gonna do an S if it's a cosine, but if it's a sine, it'll do a arc. But I don't know how big the arc is. Oh yeah, okay, so that looks pretty decent, I guess. It's kind of hacky if we add more combat buttons to it. It's not gonna scale well. Okay, so what I also want it to do is when it's their turn, I want all the buttons to like suck into the player and disappear, or like fade out, and then like go back to where they're at. I think that'd be pretty cool. So if I click enter, I can toggle whose turn it is. Okay, I think I want to disable the clouds just because it's really distracting. So I'm going to do that real quick. Actually, let's commit what we have real quick. Just going to leave my commit messages. Pretty simple. Okay. Clouds, let's see. Oops, did I just... Let me kill all of him. I don't remember how to read tab. Okay, so I accidentally killed them. That's what I did. Let's add a compile time flag or whatever. Define draw clouds. And then we're just going to say if defined, draw clouds. Then we're going to draw the clouds. Then we're going to enable the code to draw the clouds. Otherwise, we're going to just not do that. So let's just comment that out, and now we should be drawing the clouds. Let's run that. We're still drawing clouds. Alright, that's not good. Did I compile it? I did compile it. Why are we still drawing clouds? If not defined, oh. If defined, we want it to be if defined. I make that mistake quite a bit, it's annoying. Alright, so now clouds should be gone. Yeah, alright, awesome. So that's a lot easier, a lot cleaner to see. Cool. Alright. Let's remove the done with tween message also. That's just a little obnoxious. Let's go to game.cc. Done. Yeah, here we go. Alright, let me compile again. Alright, so next thing, let's actually add that animation to compress and expand out. So let me go to combat.h, combat, and then action button will have a vector2f target. It'll just have a target position, and right now I'm just going to set this to let me not set it here and set it in the constructor. I'll set the target equal to wherever it's positioned right now. Alright, so I'm going to say where am I? Combat CC. There we go. So I'm going to say that instead of setting the position, we're going to say target is equal to this position. Alright. And for one, let's say, let's only do this if it's the player's turn. So let's say if player's turn, then do all this work. Otherwise, I'm going to move the player's center position out here. Now, if it's not the player's turn, then I just want to set the target equal to the player's position. Let's create a new vector, px, py. Alright, so when it's the when it's the player's turn, the target's going to be outside the player. But when it's not the player's turn, the target's going to be inside the player. So now what we want to do is we want to actually literally interpolate the target to, or the position of the combat action button to slowly move towards the target. Now I should have I was working on the small tween library. I have alert function. I didn't write this very well, honestly. Oops. Alright, so let's just, let's go to tween.cc. Yeah, so I want to extract out this interp function right here, so that I can use it. Yeah, so I can use it. Let me think. Well, actually, okay, we'll just keep the interpolation linear, and then in the future, when I want to spice things up, make it look a little bit better, I'll do this. But let's just get it working. I think that's more important. So, So let's just use our interpolation function, our lerp function right here. I haven't decided yet. I haven't designed that far. It shouldn't be too hard to add allies to the game. I think I do want to add allies eventually with kind of how I have things planned out in the story. So I want to keep that option open, and it shouldn't be too much work to add it. But for right now, I'm not planning on having it. So I'll work on that later. Actually, I think I have another lerp function in SkyVault.h. Let me go back, because the problem with this lerp function is that it's percentage based, so I'm going to have to... I don't know how I'm going to do that. Alright, I'm just going to rewrite the lerp function. Let's say it's lerp percent. And the regular lerp is not going to be lerp percent, so it should be, oh man, I'm spacing. So it's going to be A plus B minus A times T. I think that's the function that we want. Alright, so, let me make sure that compiles, because I did change the name, but I don't think we're using that other lerp function anywhere. Okay, good. Okay, let's get rid of this warning real quick. What's going on here? We're missing a brace? Oh, we are. Not saying where though. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to get, I want to, right now, at this point, I just want to test out gameplay, and just see if I can, because I want to make something that is actually, oh, I see where it is. I want to make something that's a little bit more unique than just, you know, attack an enemy, you know, and then you get attacked and you trade off blows. So I want to do a lot of testing and stuff, so I just want to get things working real quick. And then I can add cool things like multiple allies and stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. Alright, okay, so we have a target. Now we want to do a lerp function, so let's do cab.shape set position. I'm going to say cab shape.get position. Or actually, no, we can say lerp cab shape get position. Oh, we're going to have to lerp the x and y values separately because I don't have a vector lerp. Actually, let's just destructure this. There we go. Alright, so we can say cx is equal to lerp cx cab target dot x, and then we're just going to pass in time dot dt. And let's do the same thing for y value. And let's do a set position with cx and cy. And let's do the same thing down here. We can just copy this code. Okay, let me make sure that all looks good. Okay, so let's run it and let's see what happens. Oh, I forgot we have it in a namespace. And let's make sure that we include the tween library. No such library. Let's make sure. Combat. It would be in. Go back. Graphics /20. There we go. Oh, more errors. Oh, we forgot the template parameter. Ah, shoot, yeah. I have to recompile a ton of stuff. This is one of the downsides of working with C++. It's just how long everything takes to compile. But I mean, you have plenty of time to drink coffee and stuff. All right, that's really cool. You see that? They all move out to their positions, and if I press enter, they all go back into the player. Okay, so I also want to fade out their alpha. Oh, that's cool. I like it. It needs to be a lot faster, of course, but we can play with that later. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and we can do things like make it like quadratic and stuff like that. Okay, so one thing I want to do real quick is extract this out into a small lambda function just for flirp cab. Yeah, that's one of my biggest inspirations for this game, actually. I absolutely love Super Mario, or Super Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door specifically. I really like the combat system in that game. It's a lot of fun, a lot of character. Alright, let's make sure this compiles real quick. Oh, we need let's capture time. Yeah, give it a shot. It's I think it still stands up as a really, really awesome game. Use of deleted function. Alright, let's actually specify the parameter here. Oh, I know why that didn't work. It's because I'm copying it. We need to pass it in by reference, but I'm just gonna specify it anyway, just to speed up compile times or something. I don't know. Still not working? What's up? Spelled correctly. Well, let me see what the other errors are. Error, binding reference. Oops. Moving the screen. This is frustrating. This is why it's good to use unique pointers, but it's also kind of frustrating working with them. Do I move the reference? Let me try that real quick. No, I don't want to move that. Oh, I get it. Is it because it's constant? Let me try making it not constant. Okay, that was the issue. And let's move this outside. Oops, outside of the scope. Let's run it to make sure that works still. Yep, still works. Alright. Okay, so let's just try multiplying this by, like, I don't know, 10 times, just to make it 10 times faster. And then what we can do is we can also make this quadratic. And that makes it speed up and then slow down a little bit. So it's a nice effect. Let's see if that does anything. Ooh, that's real slow. Let's surround that right there. Oh, it's still slow. Well, I guess it, multiplication, yeah, works like that. So I'm multiplying the... Oh, it's going to start off really slow, and then it's going to speed up, of course. I forgot about... It's pretty cool, I like that. Alright, let's fade the alpha, just so that the button... Oh, and let's also disable the button, too. Well, actually it is disabled when it's not the player's turn, so we're all good there. Alright, now when we go to render it, let's just say that... where are we? There we are. Let's say cab shape set fill color, and we're going to say cab shape dot. Can you get fill color? Let's do color.r, color.g, color.b. I'm going to say 255.0f times color dot, or let's do cab alpha. Compile that, make sure that works. No net matching function takes in, oh, and then let's cast this back to a unsigned int. Let's just do an int. I think an int is fine. Okay, we need an unsigned int. Alright, let's make that unsigned. I'm not using an engine, I'm using something called SFML just for the graphics. But all the entity code, the editor, everything's all mine. Oh, I'm being silly. There we go. Alright, cool. Okay, so the alpha is set to 1. So now let's lerp the alpha. So let's go up to here, and let's say if player's turn, let's say auto target alpha is equal to player's turn. If it is the player's turn, then it's equal to 1.0f. Otherwise, it's 0.0f. And let's say cab alpha is equal to a lerp of the current alpha, so cab alpha, the target alpha, and let's make sure the time is set to the same as the as up here. Actually, since this isn't percentage based, that does not matter. I do want to move to a percentage based system, but not for now. Now let's include. Let me just capture everything. Also, I just realized this is going to be really slow, so let's just remove that scale. Okay, let's run it. Let's see how this looks. Okay, now they're not fading out. Interesting. Let me see out the alpha. Yeah, it's very similar. Similar as in it's very simple, and it does similar things to what Rpg does. So Rpg isn't an engine; it's a framework. It doesn't provide entities or anything like that, but it does draw a lot of graphics and stuff. So in that regard, yeah, it's definitely a lot like Rpg. I think Love2D actually does more though, just because it has like a networking library, helps you with your files, stuff like that. SFL is more of just rendering. No, it has a networking library. Never mind. All right, that looks really cool. Cool. It needs to be a lot faster, I think, because you want that instant gratification. Yeah, it's a framework. I prefer to work with frameworks over game engines. I think it's just well, it's personal preference, but I find that I can build my own game engine that really follows my own workflow. Okay, so let's add a speed variable up here. Let's just set it equal to 200. So let's just make it twice as fast as what we had before. Let's replace all the values with 100.0f with speed. There we go. Yeah, it does. There's definitely some benefits to using an engine, like starting up. It's a lot faster, like just getting a concept up. But there's also, I mean, it also like when you write your own engine, like I can add buttons to do just about anything. Like I can show you. So I have the editor built directly into the game itself, and I can like move entities and stuff like that. In the game itself while it's running, and all this gets serialized out, meaning it saves. I can look at every single entity. I can like spawn. Let's spawn a blue block right here. You know, so there's a lot of stuff you can do, and you can build it up as big or as small as you want. So like I can move this blue or this diamond, and yeah, you can make it as big or as small as you want. You can do cool, I don't know, add your own UI and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of trade-offs to each. All right. Okay. Cool. So yeah. So we need to make it so that the player attacks, and then in turn the enemies attack. So let's make it so that there's just one button for the player to push, and that's the attack button. And then when we do this, we're going to say, let's just say that it's not the player's turn. Let's just make this very simple. So when you press attack, it's not going to be the player's turn. Ideally, what we're actually going to do is make it so that the player, there's an animation, attack animation, and then once the animation is done, it'll change turns, or maybe you'll have a bonus stage or whatever. But for now, we're just going to keep this really simple. And I guess we should start working on building up a little bit of enemy AI. So I think what we need to do is we need to make a on enemy turn function and then an on player turn function. So let's add that in real quick. And let's just make him a method. Alright, and then let's make it, let's do this. Let's add an integer, current entity, turn of current entity. And instead of entity, I'm going to do enemy. And let's just set that equal to 0, starting off. Alright, and then we're going to have a toggle turn function, and what that's going to do, actually I'll just write it right here. We're going to say player's turn is equal to not player's turn. And let's say if player's turn on player's turn. So it's called the on player turn function, otherwise on enemy's turn. Let's copy these and let's move it over to the CC file. I don't know where to put them. Let's just put them above the update. Alright, so when it becomes the enemy's turn, oh, and also let's go to here, and let's say toggle turn. And then also down where we have the player. Oh, actually that's up. Up here, let's say toggle turn. So on enemy's turn, let's just set the we might add a speed mechanic later, like if one of the entities are faster than the other one. Come on, camera, focus. Then it'll become their turn, but we'll work on that later. So let's say current. What did I name it? Let me go back. Turn of current enemy. Let's just set that equal to 0 at the start of the enemy's turn. And then I probably should scale up the current entity, or the scale up the entity that it's its turn. I can't speak today. Okay, so on player's turn, let me think of things that we need to do. I don't think I have things that we need to do. But okay, down here, let's actually do some, enemy AI. And actually, let's add another method just to organize some stuff. Void handle enemy's turn. And let's pass in our time variable. Okay, and then let's call it this right here. Let's say if not player's turn, then handle enemy's turn. And then I might want to also extract this out to its own function, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. Alright, so first off, let's loop through all the entities. And let's not make it constant, never mind. And let me see. The enemies are unique pointers, so just make sure to do that by reference. Actually, you know what? We could probably just get the enemies, the current enemies. Well, let me think about this. Alright, so let's say turn of current enemy. If turn of current enemy is greater than or equal to the number of enemies, then that means all their turns are done and we can toggle the turn. Otherwise, and let's return right here. Otherwise, we want to get the enemy by turn, and then we want to say, and then we're going to do some AI right here. Oh yeah, don't worry about, you can ask me as many questions as you want. I really like answering them. And for anyone else that has questions, ask away. Okay, so I drew most of the sprites, but I did use a couple resource packs for like the different entities and stuff. Let me show you real quick. I drew the a lot of the tiles and stuff. Actually, let's get this compiling. Okay, so let's include it. I drew the cloud backgrounds, all the tiles. I think I drew a couple of the entities, but some of them I just got from a resource pack just so I can get things rolling. Oh wait, what? It's being very picky. I guess we could make the turn of the let's make that unsigned. Handle enemy's turn. No. Enemy's turn. Did I not? Oh, let's pass in the time function. There's also a lot more art that I haven't included in the game yet. There's a whole temple area that I think looks pretty good right now. But it's still not complete. Right now I'm working on this forest area just so I can get a bunch of the combat set and all that. But yeah, I drew the tree, I drew all the grass, the water, the cliff face and stuff. It's all really rough programmer art. I didn't draw the enemy sprites though. That's I found that on I think free game art or something. Yeah. Close window. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so right here we're going to do the AI, but for right now we're just going to increment the turn of the enemy. Just so that they, just to simulate that they took the turn. So let me run this now. Actually, let me compile. And let's run. Okay, so it's your turn. You click. Now it's their turn, and then it's your turn real quick. You can see the shape kind of bounces a little bit when it becomes their turn. But, yeah, cool. So I think what I want to do is do a lerp, or a tween. Just move the entity over to the player and move them back. Move the entity to the player, move them back, move the entity to the player, move them back. And then call that their turn. So my tween library is kind of finicky, I think. Yeah, right? They have insane speed. One thing I also liked about Super Paper Mario is is that you can block the attack of the enemy if you're fast enough, if you have correct timing, and I really love that about it. You can really get out of hairy situations if you're really skilled, you know. Same with Super Mario Bros. Or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga for the Game Boy Advance. You have all these QuickTime, like kind of QuickTime events for the for combat, and the better you do on those, the better you I don't know, you can survive dodgy situations, which I really like. Nothing's what's the word? Nothing gets your adrenaline pumping more when you have like 3 health left, and you have to dodge every single attack. The beat of sound. It's an interesting concept. I know there's a dungeon crawler called, what's it called? Quest of the Necrodancer or something like that. I don't remember, but it was like all sound based. I thought it was pretty cool. Alright, so let's actually do a tween. So let's say, oh, we're gonna have to, oh, Crypt of the Necrodancer. Yes, yes. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to change the tween library just a little bit. Actually, yeah, I definitely do. So let's commit what we have so far. I think it's a good place to do that. Simple turn simulation. I'm really bad with commit messages. Alright, so what I'm doing right here, and don't judge me too hard, but I'm storing a pointer to a float, and I'm actually interacting with that pointer, moving that pointer. Now, that's not a good way to do it, so I'm going to change that right now. So let's say value, and value is going to be equal to value, and we're going to change the value, but instead of storing a pointer to it, we're just going to check the value. Now we have to change that in tween, or actually let's say, let's create a function. I really like those music-based games, but I'm not that great at making music, and I can't afford to hire a musician, so I don't know how well that would go over. There we go. Let's move the error margin out to up here. Yeah, you really do. And you need to have something that has a very consistent beat. Something that is really, I think it has to be something that's really bouncing, you know? So you really feel it. And I just can't, I've played around with making music. I'm going to make all the music for this game, but I think it's going to be more ambient stuff because I can't make a beat that you'd want to like dance to, you know? Maybe eventually I will as I grow as a game developer and as an artist, but for right now, I'm not up to it. Alright, let's compile. Let's see where we need to make changes. I guess we don't need the value parameter anymore. Because value will be set to 0. Wait, no, we do need a value. We do need a value to start off. So let's just make that not a pointer. And we're going to have to change that in-game. Yeah, here we go. Actually, let's just remove all these circles right now. I know the system works, so let's get rid of all this. And all this down here. Alright, take care, man. Sleep well. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna do a lot more of these. Alright, let's compile. What is this music I'm listening to? I'm listening to different music than that's on the stream. It's pretty good, actually. Smoked Glass and Chrome by OTT. Okay, so, cool. Yeah, okay, so we're... Oh. Okay, we're good. So we're compiling, finally. Yeah, it is a lot of work, for sure. I really like the whole process, though. I like doing art. It's nice to take a break from programming once in a while. What type of project are you working on? Oh, you know what? Actually, we need to also store the tween. Oh, this is gonna be kind of gross. Oh, actually, let's use an std optional for this, so we don't have to store a void pointer. Oh, well, good. I mean, that's kind of the goal. Like, I don't think I've gotten some some comments and stuff of people saying, you know, that they can't follow my tutorials because I miss some stuff, and that's a fair criticism. But the whole point of my tutorial series is not for people to, you know, to copy everything, but to learn how to make it themselves. I'm thinking about restarting the platformer series also, because making an RPG is actually really tough, and I wanted to do an RPG series, but it's taking quite a bit of my time, a lot of time that I don't really have, just to reason about how I want to do it. But a platformer is something that I think I can get done. So I've done quite a few like small platformer projects. Alright, so let's make sure that compiles real quick. And I'm not entirely happy with the quality of my older tutorial series. Well, I'm glad I could help. You know, when I started learning LoveTD, there were really not, like, I don't want to insult any of the people that made tutorials, but they weren't I was having a hard time actually learning LoveTD, so that's why I really started making LoveTD tutorials. I'm using the SFML framework for C++, just for graphics. Everything else is all done myself. All right, what are we doing? Better idea. Let's do else. Where do I create an optional? I forgot how to create one. Oh, so you can just wrap it. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of luck with using built-in physics systems like Box2D and stuff with platformers. There's just a lot of points where maybe I didn't configure it correctly, but yeah, I was having similar issues where corners would get caught, or things would clip and bounce around and stuff. And that's another reason why I want to make a new tutorial, is because I think I have a pretty good system of doing that. I just realized something. We're gonna have to create 2 float tweens. Oh, this is a pain. Okay, we're not gonna create float tween, and I'm gonna have to work on this library and make it a lot better. There's a lot of issues with it right now. So for now, I'm just gonna do it the hard way. The hard way, it might be faster, but it's not gonna be the cleanest way. I'm just gonna say, how am I gonna do this? Cool, yeah. Modular physics, where I can add new properties to tiles as new functions. That's cool, yeah. Yeah, sometimes with really dynamic systems, you can have some backfiring, but especially with Lua. I'm actually using Lua quite a bit in this project, using it kind of like as a table structure, like you would use JSON, and also to do simple scripting. Yeah, really. I think, yeah, I mean, I really like it when it comes to embedding it in C++ for projects like this. But yeah, like you said, starting from 1, I can't tell you how many times I've went from C++ back to Lua, and that tripped me up, or any other language really. But yeah, besides that, I mean, it's really fast, it's simple, it's easy to put into any project. And yeah, I mean, like, at this point, like, people can add their own entities to my game if they wanted to. So if I wanted to open up maybe like a modding layer, I could totally do that with Lua, and it will work really well, I think. I should do a tutorial on how to embed Lua. But again, it's one of those things where it's like platform specific, and a lot of people use Windows. So I would have to think about that one. We should do a similar thing with the combat enemy entity, adding a I position the enemies somewhere. Oh, I do it on the start of their turn, or at the beginning of the combat scenario. So I'm gonna move this into. Wait, hold up. I need to make sure I push entities into the place. Okay, let's Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Let me think about this. So we want to lerp the position. So let's comment this out. if, let's think. If we're moving towards the player, then actually we can just set the target down here. And we probably don't need to store it in the enemy right here. And now let's do a linear interpolation. And then the target position dot x, and then we're just going to do time dt, and let's multiply that by 10. Do the same for y, the y position. Alright. Otherwise, we're going to set the target to be, let's move this down here. Move this down here. Alright, so what we're doing is, okay, so if the entity is moving towards the player, then the target is the player position, and we're going to linearly interpolate to the player. Once we're at the player, so let's say if E target position, let's do a distance. Let me go here. Oh, I just remembered there isn't any distance function for vectors in SFML. I don't believe, at least. So let's just take the distance, square root of, and then pow f e target position dot x minus player position. So basically, right now I'm just taking the position of the player and the entity, seeing how far apart they are. And I'm just going to see if the distance is less than, let's say, 0.5. So if it's less than half a pixel, then I'm going to say E moving towards player is equal to false. And now it should move back to position. Now I'm trying to figure out how to make it so that I change the turn. Let me take the distance down here of the target position. This needs to be E. And we're going to say, let's take the distance between the current position and the target position. If dist is equal to or less than half a pixel again, we're going to just set the entity's position equal to the target position. And then now we want to say that E started attacking is equal to false. Maybe I need to say, I need to have like a state machine or something saying that it's, yeah, let's create a really small state machine for that. Well, first off, let's make sure we compile. I don't like going too long without making sure things compile. Okay, let's make sure we get the total height. gonna change music. Enemy margin was not defined. Move this outside. Let's move this to the combat layer H file. Yeah, that's a very good idea for sure. I like to compile quite a bit. If the compilation's fast, I'll compile all the time, just to make sure. Oh, I need this information. I should extract this out to a function, but for now, let's just get it working and then worry about making it work well later. Oh, we forgot to, so we want to raise it to the second power. Half dist was not defined. So where do we define half dist? What? Oh, here we go. Let's extract that. Wait. Yeah, let's extract that out to combat layer up here. Too few arguments. Am I? Oh, I copied buggy code. That's fun. Enemy enum was not declared. That needs to be E. There we go. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good idea to make this a small state machine. So we can say that the entity is, you know, currently attacking, started attacking, or ended attacking, or something like that. Let's say combat attack start, combat attack ended, combat attacking maybe, and then let's just have a, instead of these two flags right here, we're going to say combat state. And let's make a combat idle. Okay, so now what we want to do up here is we're going to say if E state, or actually let's switch upon the state. Combat, so if we're at the idle state, then we're going to change the state to combat attacking. So we're going to do an attack. And here maybe we'll say combat, like, using potion or something. But for now we're just going to say, we're just going to make it so you can just attack. Case combat, let's say combat attack ended. So if we're not attacking anymore, then we're gonna say we're gonna increment the turn and change the state to idle. And I'm not going to worry about during combat attacking. So let's go down here now. Let's say, let's do a switch statement. Case combat attacking. So if we're attacking, oh, hold up. Yeah, so if we're attacking, let's add the flag back, moving towards player. Let's say when we change to combat attacking, we're going to also say the moving towards player is equal to true. Now down here, yeah, here we go. So we're going to say if E moving towards player. Now we're going to move towards the player. Otherwise, we're going to move towards the starting position of the entity. Now, if the enemy is back towards the starting position, we're going to change the state to combat ended, attack ended. Now, yeah, we need to clean this code up because it's going to be a pain in the ass to go look back on, but that's okay. Oh, we also need to handle the default case. Wow, we have 9 people watching. I think that's the most I've had on a stream, so that's cool. Oh, crazy. Yeah. Big shock, not working. So first off, we have to make sure that it's actually your turn. Combat attack ended. Wow, so that hit, it ended really fast for each one. Oh, you know what? We need to initialize the state to idle. Oh, okay, never mind. Forgot my break case. That bugs me so much when it comes to C++, is that switch cases fall through by default. It's really obnoxious. Alright, let's try this out again. Still not working. Still behaving weirdly. Might break out a debugger soon. Alright, so first off, let's make it so that we don't change turns of the entity. And while we're at it, let's comment this out, and let's also handle the default case just so we get rid of some of those warnings. Do that down here too. And we're not breaking here. My goodness. Strange behavior. Wow. So they're all moving towards the player. So that means that, oh, you know what? We need to make sure that, let's handle the combat idle. And let's just break. Let's make it so that we're only interpolating towards the the location when we're attacking. That way we're not wasting... Oh, and I think that's also why the other entities were going crazy. Going towards the top right corner. Because the, because it initialized at 0. That makes sense. Alright, so it's my turn. So as soon as I click this guy's gonna fly at me. He's not flying back. He's not flying back. And it's probably because I forgot to set moving towards player is equal to false. Let's make this like 3 pixels, 3.5 pixels, and see what happens. Okay, let's attack. Alright, start. Their turn. Interesting. Let's add this back, see if that's doing anything. Oh. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's not doing anything. So if it's attacking, if we're moving towards the player, we're gonna do all this. We're getting the distance. So let me output the distance and see what we get here. Let's run it. Okay, 35. Ooh, that's not correct. So we're checking the target position with the player's position. We need the current entity's position. That's a silly mistake. And let's also, we want to get rid of this real quick. Let's run it. He goes there. He stops. Let's go back. Where are we? Oops, webcam fell. Let me go back to 1, and let me print dist again. I shouldn't have removed it. — 35, so stuck at 35. Oh. Again, I made a big mistake right here. We want to check the distance between the entity, its current position, and its target position. Which is basically what I'm doing down here, so we can extract that out, actually. So let's do that in a bit, once I make sure this works. Goes there, goes back. Goes there, goes back. Goes there, goes back. Awesome, and now it's your turn. That looked really cool. I'm excited. Now, because these are fundamentally the same function right here. Let me think. Well, I don't know if I actually want to extract it out. I could move this function. Let's at least make them look like each other. Because it's not a big deal, though. Yeah. It's a similar pattern, though, so it makes me think I can extract it out to a function, but I'm only going to be doing this in this one place. But yeah, cool. Let's compile that again, and then let's push. Or let's commit. Hey Yuri, I'm using SFML, which is kind of similar to SDL, But similar as in it just handles simple graphics and input and stuff like that. But I'm using SFML. I don't know what to say for this message. Alright, so let me watch that again and let's think about the next thing that we need to do. We should handle maybe health bars. Okay, so let's click the attack button. They attack you. And now it's your turn again. So I'm going to choose the attack. So I attack them. So, okay, one thing we can do real quick is make it so that we animate and attack them. So I think we're just going to have a... just a simple, like, we're just going to do the same thing where we move to the enemy and then move back. So let's also use the state machine that we created, the simple one, just the enum. So let's say, let's go to the combat layer. Actually, let's go combat entities. Alright, here we are, player. Actually, the player inherits from it, so it already has a... Okay, I'm gonna rename this. Just K. Yeah, so now I can see all the positions that we're using this. I'm gonna rename this to not target position. No, this one right here. Let's say moving towards target. And let's go here. Moving towards target. Let's go down here. Let's go to the next one. Let's change that. Moving towards target. Let's go to the next one. There we go. Let's compile, make sure that works. Alright, so we're compiling. Alright, so now we can say, now we can handle the player's turn. So, on player's turn, let's say switch the state. Actually, we have a player variable. So actually just copy this right here. So for right now, this is all going to be exactly the same. And we want to see if... oh, okay, so now in the attack button, instead of toggling the turn, I'm going to set the player's state to attack. Okay, so if we're in idle, we don't really want this right here. Up here, we want to also add this right here. And let's just remove this case. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so if we're attacking, let's go down here. Oh, okay, so we need a targeting system, don't we? So for right now, I'm going to make it so it just targets the first enemy. But in the future, I'm going to have to draw an arrow and figure out how to do, or maybe you can click. I do want this to be controllable by controller, though, in the future, in keyboard. But for now, I'm just going to make it so you can click on the enemy that you want to target. But yeah, targeting. That's another thing that we need to think about. So we're handling... We could actually move this to here. I think that'd be a good idea. Handle the enemy's positioning. But, okay. So, if it's the player's turn, let's do a switch case. What's going on here? Okay, so this is handling the buttons. Let me make a comment just so I see that. say switch player state. So case combat attacking. So if we're attacking, let's handle the default case real quick. Alright, so if we're attacking, let's just oh yeah, okay, and then we also want to say if player moving towards target. So if we're moving towards the target, let's get the target position. And actually now I see a pretty big case for extracting this out, so we don't have to recompute or have to rewrite all this. But just for now, while we're getting things working. And let's say the target is going to be it's just going to be the first enemy in the list. Yeah, the first enemy in the list. And let's target the middle of them. Okay. So wherever we have E, we need to replace that with player. So now we're getting the distance, and if we're less than a certain margin, then we're gonna toggle moving towards target. And now if we're not moving towards the target, then we want to move back to the player's location. And the player's location is defined up here. So we need all, oops, not all that. We need all of this. So let's copy all of that. Let's go down to here, paste it. Let me see. We probably already get CX and yeah, we actually do it. No, we do it. Do we do it up here? Okay, so we actually already do all this. Let's move this outside this local scope. Now let's go back down to here and let's remove all this. Let's move that. All right, so and we're gonna set the target position equal to this. Now, if the distance between the target and 0.1, this should be the same. We want to change the state and make sure that the player is actually snapped to that location. So we're going to say player target, let's say player position is equal to player target position. Player state is equal to combat attack ended. Just like that. Is there anything else that we need to do? Doesn't look like it. And then now let's lerp the player. So let's go down here and let's lerp the player. Again, this can all be moved to its own function. I'll do that eventually. Okay. So let's see. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold up. One thing we need to do real quick is change the turn. So, oh no, we already did. Wait, no, never mind. We want to say toggle turn. There we go. So now it's the enemy's turn. Cool. Let's see if this works. All right. Where's this? Line 29. Needs to be player. Needs to be player. This is why you should never copy and paste. Okay, so we need to take this by reference because this is a unique pointer. Okay, so we're compiling. Let's actually test it out. Okay, so it's our turn, so we're going to attack the entity, move back. Now it's not changing back to their turn. I had to do it manually, so let's look into why that is. For one, I want to make this half a pixel, not a full pixel. Okay, so we're actually going to set this state to attack ended. Alright, so now let's go back to handle on player's turn. So if the attack is oh, are we actually calling this? We're not actually calling this. Interesting. I thought we were calling this. I guess not. Well, let's go to toggle turn. Oh, we are calling it. We are calling it. Oh, but we should be, I'm assuming we're calling this every frame. So instead of on player's turn, we need to move this to handle player's turn. Take in the time function or the time struct, even though we probably don't need to. Yeah, okay. So this is the update function. This is the initialization function. That's what I was getting wrong. There will be some stuff that we need to do with that eventually, but for now, we're not going to worry about that function. We're just going to worry about handle player's turn. Alright, and then now, let's see. Else, handle player's turn. Let's do that. It's always little mistakes that get you. Let's run it. Let's see how this is going. Alright, so it's our turn. So we attack the enemy, move back. It's their turn. We do want to pause there, but that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Attack the enemy. They attack us. That's really cool. I like that. Awesome. Well, you know what, guys? I'm probably going to call it tonight. I think I'm going to go hang out with some friends. But, yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow. Actually, I'm definitely going to do another stream tomorrow. So, come by and see that, and we'll continue working on our combat system. Cleaning things up, adding, you know, stats, different skills and stuff. And then I can also talk about the concept of the game, because I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than I think, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than just you attack, they attack, and all that. I'm going to change the whole objective of the combat system. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching again. And, yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. Till then, I'll see you later. Let me